Preface. Let me first expose the negative aspects of business briefly before I accentuate the positives so that we don't get the false impression that business is all sunshine and roses. Unfortunately, in a capital-driven economic system, business is an art of war. Business is war without bloodshed, and this is why terms of war are often used to describe business activities such as capturing the market, eliminating the competition, or securing one's market position. If you don't understand that business is war, you'll be easily defeated. A person who does not realize that they will have to fight in business will not prepare themselves for battle. In war, the higher the position you have on the ground, the greater the advantage you will have in battle. The enemy will do everything he can, therefore, to knock you out of that position. Similarly, the higher the position you achieve in a business market, the more susceptible you will become to attack. In that lofty position, you are more easily recognized by the consumer and are more apt to receive their trade. More trade means more dollars, which translates into a greater market share. In order to survive, those who compete in your market must fight to maintain their share. If you gain a greater share, it had to have come from somewhere. If you didn't bear the great expense of creating new customers, it had to have come from those who are already in the market and trading with your competitors. Therefore, your competitors will launch an attack to knock you out of your position in order to retain their customers and secure their position in the market. Most people go into business with the goal of providing and caring for their families. Every loss in market share is a loss of income for their households. Competition in business then can be very personal. The approach to remaining in business or retaining market share becomes that of protecting the economic future of one's children. The desire to protect the future of the ruling or elite class of children is the reason why we have capitalism as an economic system. The word capital in this context means to be on top, and the suffix ism means belief. The true definition of capitalism, then, is the belief that one group and their heirs must always be on top. In order to ensure that the ruling class heirs remain on top, an economic system had to be put in place to make sure that other groups also remain on the bottom. When America was founded, she did not have a problem with racism. The social and economic struggle between people of that day was classism. Racism is the psychogenic effect of oppression wherein people who are oppressed go on to oppress other people whom they have been conditioned to believe are lesser or weaker than they. The oppressed further segregate and deny opportunities to others whom they have the power to, in the same manner in which the ruling class segregated or denied them the opportunities of the ruling class. However, we must remember that the original struggle or social struggle of America was not black versus white. It was lords versus serfs, ruling class versus servant class. King George devised a system to guarantee that the economic future of the ruling class children would be protected, but when the founding fathers overthrew the king and became the ruling class themselves, they installed a similar system, which we know as capitalism, to ensure that their ruling class heirs would always be on top as well. This is the main reason why certain classes of people are denied access to capital. It is assumed by the ruling class interest that one day we will wake up and begin to trade goods and services exclusively with our own class, which will cause them to lose a huge share of the market. Blacks, for example, hold the dubious distinction of being both the largest consumer group in America and the largest non-producing group. This means that they must go to other groups in order to purchase goods and services. If blacks had no capital with which to bring goods and services to the market or to expand their business and capture a greater share of the market, the ruling class won't have to worry about losing market share. Now you should be able to see why it's been so hard for certain groups or classes to achieve economic parity with others. It is because classism is an outgrowth of capitalism. In order for the ruling class interest to retain market share in a capitalistic system, they had to install the governor of classism as a means to inhibit the servant class access to capital. Regardless of how the ruling class defines classism for us, it is actually the belief in the hearts of the ruling class that every hungry ruling class child must eat before any starving servant class child is fed.